Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the tropics. It is 7:04 a.m. Saturday, November 2, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the latest 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook from the US National Hurricane Center. And we can see the latest one that just came out at 7:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:53 a.m. Jamaica time, so what, 11 minutes ago this one came out. We can see that we now have subtropical storm Patty right there to the west of the Azores Islands. We still have that area to the north of Puerto Rico that has a low chance of development within the next 7 days. The more it pushes towards the west northwest into the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas, eastern Cuba. And we still have that area to the south of Jamaica that has an 80% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days, and a 60% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days. So firstly, let us take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic as the sun is starting to come up. We can definitely make out these entities. The clouds associated with subtropical storm Patty right here to the west of the Azores Islands spinning away. We can see the clouds associated with that area that has a low chance of development to the north of Puerto Rico, attached to a trough that is still attached to a frontal system right here to the northwest of Africa. And we see that we're getting in on some more moisture right here across the southwestern Caribbean associated with that system that has a high chance of development. Let us focus our attention a bit on subtropical storm Patty. We can definitely see the clouds, the showers, the thunderstorms associated with it. And we see that southeastward kind of motion. So it's definitely going to be affecting the Azores Islands. We see some of the land areas right here coming into view. Definitely starting to get on some of the bad weather as we speak. And it's just going to be going downhill in terms of the bad weather as the day progresses. We see the ensemble maps definitely in consensus that it should be moving towards the southeast as that subtropical storm, and then possibly affecting portions of Western Europe later next week. And we see that the intensity is not expecting anything dramatic, not expecting it to make it up to the hurricane status. So it should maintain tropical storm status, and then after the next 3 days it should be all the way back down to an area of low pressure. And we see the Hurricane Center has given an update. As of right now, it's packing maximum sustained winds of 15 miles per hour. That makes it a tropical storm. So a mid-range tropical storm. It's not closer to 74 miles per hour. That would make it a hurricane. And it's not closer to 38 miles per hour wind. That would make it a tropical depression. So it's right there smack dab in the middle. And we see the movement is to the east-southeast at 7 miles per hour. And it's definitely going to be affecting portions of Western Europe for sure. More than likely as a tropical depression as we head into Tuesday. But within the next 24 hours, across the Azores Islands, we have a lot of people that live there. They're definitely going to be affected in general. Alright, so let us go back and see what the Hurricane Center is stating regarding these other systems. Let's read. According to the Hurricane Center, let's see what they're saying about this one to the north of Puerto Rico. They've stated a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds extending from near Puerto Rico and Hispaniola northeastward for a few hundred miles are associated with a trough of low pressure. The slow development of this system is possible during the next couple of days while it moves west-northwestward near the Greater Antilles. By early next week, this system is expected to be absorbed into the low pressure area over the Caribbean Sea. So they're stating that this cold is going to be absorbing it. Basically, I don't know, making something bigger, if not smaller. We'll see how that goes. But they're definitely going to be combining within the next couple of days. And the Hurricane Center has stated that regardless of development, locally heavy rains are possible during the next few days across the northern Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, eastern Cuba, and the southeastern Bahamas. And they've given the system a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days, as well as within the next 7 days. But we see that the big thing on everybody's lips is what's expected to form, or what's expected to come off this system in the southwestern Caribbean. According to the Hurricane Center, disorganized showers and thunderstorms over the southwestern Caribbean Sea are associated with a broad area of low pressure. Gradual development of this system is expected, and the tropical depression is likely to form within the next few days, while the system moves generally northward or northwestward over the central and western Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, locally heavy rains are possible over portions of the adjacent land areas of the Western Caribbean, including Jamaica, Hispaniola, and Cuba. Interest in the Western Caribbean Sea should monitor the progress of this system, and we see that they've given it a 60% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days. And we have to see what the latest model runs are showing. Quite an interesting system in general. First, we're going to be looking at the Euro model, and we're going to be focusing our attention on the timestamp right here at the top. And we're going to be focusing our attention on all the moisture associated with these entities from the Western Caribbean all the way to the north of the Eastern Caribbean. So the Euro model as usual first, then we'll take a look at the GFS. Keep in mind that this is as of the 00 of the Euro that came out last night. And as we go out in time, yes, we still have some rainfall coming into portion of Jamaica, 18Z on Saturday, which is actually 1 p.m. Definitely going to be a wet day. It's already been a wet day for a portion of northeastern Jamaica. Some of this rainfall has even spilled into sections of some southern parishes. But look at what's to come. We see the area of low pressure right here, passing to the north of Hispaniola, heading into portion of the southern Bahamas right there. And look at what started to take shape. By 15Z on Monday, this is what, 10 a.m. on Monday, we see the area of low pressure right there to the south of Jamaica. The Euro has been reserved in terms of the intensity. Definitely something, maybe a tropical depression, if not a tropical storm, if not a potential tropical cyclone, is what the Euro has been consistently showing. And then we see a lot of the moisture, the dark greens, the yellows, represent anywhere from 4 all the way up to 6 inches of rainfall crossing over Jamaica between Monday and Tuesday. And then it should be right here to the northwest of the island by 3Z on a Wednesday. That's 10 p.m. on Tuesday. It should be right here across portion of the Cayman Islands, but we're still getting a lot of moisture by that time. But let us see what the GFS 00 is showing for the same time period. So we see the area of low pressure associated with that other system to the north of Hispaniola by 18Z, that's 1 p.m. on Sunday. We see the area of low pressure to the north of Colombia to the south of Jamaica, trying to get its act together. But we're still seeing a much stronger system on the GFS. Look at the amount of isobars, look at the darker greens, look at the yellows, the oranges, and reds. That could definitely be a tropical storm, if not a low-end hurricane crossing over eastern Jamaica. Look at that. 988 millibars. Look at all of the isobars. It could definitely even be stronger than that. That's if the GFS validates. But in terms of the intensity, we see the differences on both the Euro and the GFS models in general. Then we see where it's supposed to be by 0Z on Wednesday. This is what, 7 p.m. on Tuesday. We see the differences. We see some consensus in terms of the location in a sense, but they are definitely a bit different, closer to southern Cuba and right here closer to the Cayman Islands on the Euro. But let us focus our attention on what the latest run of the GFS is showing. This is the 6Z run that just came out this morning. So this just came out an hour ago, considering the time right now is 7:13 a.m. So let's see what the latest models are showing. So we see something right here to the north of Hispaniola, and I wouldn't even be surprised if whatever is to the north of Hispaniola acquires the next name on the list first. So we're experiencing Patty right now across the waters to the west of the Azores Island, according to the Hurricane Center. But could we get Rafael to form to the north of Hispaniola, even although it has a 10% chance of development? Or could we get Rafael to form to the south of Jamaica? Or could we get Sarah to form to the south of Jamaica? We have to wait and see exactly what unfolds, because many of us didn't think that that system to the far north of the Atlantic would become patty. We thought that this system across the southwestern Caribbean would have become patty, but we see what's happening. A very active hurricane season in general. We're about to have 3 systems simultaneously as we head into Monday, if this system to the north of Hispaniola develops and if this system to the south of Jamaica develops. Either way, let's take a look at what the latest run of the GFS is showing. Alright, look at this. In the 0Z run, we saw the system crossing over eastern Jamaica. Look at this latest run of the GFS. This one is definitely crossing more so to the south, maybe a kind of barrel kind of track. But we see that it's bringing the nasty side of the weather, the dark greens, the yellows, the oranges, and reds, into Jamaica in general. Damaging weather, bad weather, flooding, strong winds. We don't want that at all, and the GFS has been consistent or persistent with the intensity. The Euro has maintained the intensity, something low end. Hopefully this is what actually happens and we get more rainfall than anything else to keep water in our pipes and cool down the temperatures. Either way, regardless of development, before it gets to Jamaica and acquires either the name Raphael or Sarah, we know that there's a lot of rainfall on the way. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 6Z on Wednesday. This is 1 a.m. on Wednesday. And look at all of the rainfall that is expected. Let's use black right here. Look at all of the purples. Look at, first of all, look at all of the dark red colors. That's 2 inches of rainfall, like what we see on the key on the right. All the way up into the purples, that represents 3 inches. The pinks, that represents 4 inches. The salmon colors, that represents all the way up to 6-7 inches of rainfall. And that is what is going to be stretching from Panama, from Colombia, all the way into portions of Jamaica, western Haiti, eastern Cuba. It's definitely going to be a bad situation in general. This is the GFS. Look at what the Euro is showing. Something similar. There is definitely going to be a lot of rainfall in general. Flash flooding is definitely going to be possible. Landslides. You've already been getting landslides across northeastern Jamaica, Portland, St. Thomas, not St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne. And they're in for a lot more rainfall to come. So we definitely have to be vigilant with the weather in the coming week. If you had plans, those plans will definitely have to be cancelled around Monday into Tuesday for sure. Let's see how it all plays out, because as of right now, we don't see much. We see the thunderstorms, we see them right here starting to gather, but it is today that we're expecting a huge blow up of convection somewhere down in here, and then as we head into Sunday, getting up into this region, and then Monday somewhere here. So as stated, most of us might not be able to go to work or school as we head into Monday because of the bad weather. We'll definitely be hearing from the government of Jamaica, maybe, telling us that, oh, there's a tropical storm watch or a tropical storm warning, or whatever the case may be, whatever comes up this system within the next 24 to 72 hours. Alright, so let's just take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this morning. We can still see that we have that frontal system stretching all the way from northern portion of the North Atlantic all the way down into portion of the northeastern Caribbean. It has induced that trough. It's definitely attached to that area of low pressure to the northwest of Puerto Rico. We see a tropical wave right here to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, a tropical wave right here across the eastern Caribbean affecting northeastern South America. And we see the ridges of high pressure that we know are responsible for sending all of these entities from east to west across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic as the sun is starting to come up, we can definitely make out all of these entities, the clouds associated with the frontal system attached to the trough to the north of Puerto Rico and the Leeward Islands. We can make out the tropical wave right here to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. We can also make out the clouds associated with that other tropical wave affecting portion of the eastern Caribbean and northeastern South America. Most of the moisture associated with it closer to the trough across the Windward and Leeward Islands, more so the northern windward than the southern windward. But look at all of the moisture that we're seeing as the sun is starting to come up across the southwestern Caribbean, to the north of Panama, to the north of Costa Rica. They're definitely getting in on that bad weather out to sea, and all of that is definitely expected to push more so towards the northeast and then curve around. Something like this is what is expected within the next 24 hours or the next 24 to 48 hours. So we have to pay close attention because we're still in hurricane season. Alright, so we made a video last night highlighting what would have happened this morning, and we stated that we would have gotten in on some amount of rainfall on Saturday morning. This is the post right here. So it was stated more rainfall is in the forecast for northern Jamaica tonight into Saturday morning. So that was last night into this morning. And we definitely still gotten on some isolated shores affecting portions of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, and we spoke about how some of this rainfall could definitely spill into northern areas of some southern parishes. I know northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. And what ended up happening? As early as 5:10 a.m., the Cuban Doppler radar images were posted right here on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the greens, we saw the yellows that represent some amount of moderate to heavy rainfall lashing portions of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, sections of coastal areas of St. James. We're definitely getting on some of the light to moderate rainfall too. And we even saw what was happening on the infrared satellite images. Look at the thunderstorms. Look at the sparkling white dust that we know represents some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. Look at all of the high cold cloud tops, the blues, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds. Definitely some stormy weather across portion of St. Mary and Portland last night into early this morning. And even if we take a look at the live cam from Crossroads, See Jamaica's YouTube channel, pointing to the north, to the hills of St. Andrew, we can make out the clouds. We can definitely even make out some of the light rainfall affecting the hills up there. Maybe some dew rain or drizzle, but not much actually taking place right here in the south across this portion of St. Andrew at this time. But that could definitely change by afternoon. And we definitely have some comments here from some of our followers on our Twitter page. We had Maria Hitchens posting an hour ago, it's drizzling at the moment in St. Andrew, just to confirm that some of this rainfall is definitely spilling into sections of some southern parishes. We also have Ricardo James here stating those northeastern parishes have been getting heavy rain since last week. Flash floods imminent this weekend. For sure, it's already taking place, and they're going to be in for a lot more as we head into early next week. Even if we take a look at the visible satellite images this morning, we can definitely see that flow. We can see that low level flow of the clouds coming in from the northeast, bringing some amount of rainfall to portions of Portland, sections of St. Mary, section of coastal areas of St. Anne as we speak. Some of these clouds definitely building and pushing into portions of St. Andrew and even section of St. Thomas right there. And if we take a look at the very latest still image, let's see what's happening. Let's see the latest one that just came out. Alright, so the latest still image just came out at 12:16 UTC. So that's 7:16 a.m. So 7 minutes ago. We can definitely make out that we're still getting in on some isolated showers right now, coming into portions of St. Anne, sections of St. Mary, sections of Portland getting in on the mix, sections of St. Andrew. St. Thomas definitely overcast as we speak, I'm sure. And look at this, the infrared even confirms it. We can see some of the thunderstorms into portion of northwestern St. Thomas right there. We can even make out some rainfall right there to the south of St. Thomas. And we can see it all right here on the latest Cuban Doppler radar images. The latest image that just came out at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7:20 a.m. Jamaica time. So this one just came out 3 minutes ago. And we can even make out all the rainfall that we're seeing now on the visible. The rainfall that we just saw across St. Anne, this is it right here. the greens, the yellows, most of it out to sea, but it's definitely headed inland. We can see the rainfall that Portland is getting as we speak, the rainfall that portion of northern St. Thomas is getting too, not to mention the rainfall that portion of St. Andrew is getting as well. Even the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar Station Imagery showing some rainfall across eastern Cuba, some rainfall across sections of Portland. The Cayman Radar showing most of the rainfall to the west of Jamaica, as well as sections of the waters to the west of the Cayman Islands, as well as the south of the Cayman Islands. And as stated in yesterday's video, we have more rainfall to get. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 a.m. Jamaica time. And look at all the blues that represent rainfall. We're already getting in on that right now, and more is to come. Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, section of St. Thomas, definitely going to be getting in on the rainfall. GFS in consensus, more so with St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, section of St. Thomas. Skipping ahead to about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. We see the blues that represent rainfall still plaguing northeastern parishes, but also affecting sections of Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland getting in on the mix. And even as we head into 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's 8 p.m. this evening, we're still going to be getting on more rainfall for northeastern Jamaica, all courtesy of that northeasterly flow, all courtesy of that relief rainfall that we explained in yesterday's video. And they're getting in on that northeasterly kind of flow already. That northeasterly kind of flow brings the relief rainfall, and that's not what we usually get this early. It's usually around December, January, February, March that the north coast getting in on all of that rainfall, especially Portland. Always wondering why Portland is so wet. This is the reason, the relief rainfall, and they've started their rainy season earlier than the rest of the other sides of the island. Well, considering the rest of the island, the south coast especially going to be on the rain shadow side. It's our drought season that's going to be starting for us, but with whatever is to come off the system that the Hurricane Center has highlighted, a southerly flow is definitely expected across the island. Some bad weather is definitely coming for us on the south coast in general, so we definitely have to stay prepared. Even both accumulated precipitation forecast maps within the next couple of hours should maintain the amount of rainfall. Lots of reds, up to 1 inch of rainfall, lots of burgundies as well, especially for the northeast. So get ready, more isolated flash flooding, more landslides are in store for you who live in St. Mary and Portland. Alright, so that's it for now. I'll definitely be back later with another video update to highlight what the 12Z run of the Euro and the GFS are showing, not to mention the 18Z run of the GFS as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Hurricane Center highlights or tags a potential tropical cyclone somewhere down here and gives us the watches or warnings, if not across Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Quite an interesting weekend indeed. Alright, thank you for watching.